morning and welcome to Coffee with a Kick. I am Xander, that is Keegan, and we are here for a Mondo, what I like to call a Mondo episode. We are going to be... Sorry?
Big.
Big. We are going to be predicting both match day 18 and 19. That's this upcoming weekend and midweek action through next Thursday. I believe that was the 27th. Is my calendar brain working on that? The 28th through next Thursday, the 28th. So we will be back on said Friday for a recap and prediction episode for the following week. That's how we've decided to break this all down. So, how you doing there, Keegan? I'm going to start this off with what I've never done before. I say, how are you doing?
How you doing? You know, this week I'm in Orlando at Universal. So, wow. I visited Harry Potter World today, and too much butterbeer for me. So,
oh boy,
took a siesta this afternoon.
Hey.
And now we're up and at 'em, ready to go. And
yeah. Well then, if you're ready to go, then I'm ready to go. But before we get going, why don't you go ahead and drop a like, drop subscribe. We got a comment come through on our last episode. Let me get over to that real quick. It was a lovely comment from Given Okwo. Said sup, Given. How's it going? Glad to hear from our fans. It's so great when we hear from you all. Go ahead and drape a comment, and subscribe, and a like, and a follow, and a ring the bell. All right, that's enough of that. On to match week 18. Newcastle United hosts Nottingham Forest to kick us off later this afternoon. How do you have this one shaping up later today? Sorry, I started on the wrong one. This is Crystal Palace and Brighton. Excuse me, wrong page. Crystal Palace and Brighton starting us off later today. How do you have that one shaping up there at Selhurst Park in London?
You know, I don't know. Like we saw, Crystal Palace played well on the weekend.
Yeah.
Brighton did not. I think I'm going to go... 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. Similar to the City match for Crystal Palace. I actually have this one going 2-0 Brighton. I think Crystal Palace is going to have a bit of a letdown after that, saying we just performed against City, overcame stiff odds to come back and draw the reigning champions. And Brighton will feel like they need to pick up the pace here a little bit because they've fallen off last week and they got skunked for the first time all season. That was the big point that I made. So I've got this one as a 2-0 victory for Brighton at Selhurst Park on Thursday. And then on Friday, I've got a similar result. I think that Aston Villa will take out Sheffield United 2-0 at Villa Park. A nice, calm, steady 2-0 right before we hit Christmas weekend over a Sheffield United team that I think will just be truly overmatched.
Yeah, I have this one going 4-0.
Yeah.
I think there will be plenty of goals, plenty of presence for the goal scorers. I don't think Sheffield United has it in them to be able to keep up with Aston Villa at home. I mean, they're riding a 16-match win streak at home. So I think it'll be 17 pretty easily.
Yeah, they've definitely been rocking it at Villa Park than Birmingham. Sheffield United has not instilled any sort of confidence in their ability to perform against top-tier sides. They haven't done it. And then we go to a team that I love predicting. I love it so much. Saturday, the early match, West Ham hosts Manchester United at London Stadium in, as I have said before, good old London town. Now, what sort of unexpected result will they give us this week, West Ham?
I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham victory.
2-1 West Ham victory. You are on that. You are on that Ten Hag out train. Have been for a long time. Will this one do it? If they lose 2-1 to West Ham, do you think they give him one more week and then maybe can him before the end of the year?
See, I don't know. Man U defensively, they've been fine. Mm-hmm. It's just offensively, they have not. I don't think they've scored more than, I think, one game. They've had 3 goals all year, which for a team like Man U, that's pretty uncharacteristic. So
Højbjerg has been disappointing as far as goal-scoring production this season. Hasn't even gotten one in a Man U uniform yet.
Which is pretty embarrassing for how much money they spent on him and for how much time he's played. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's missed a match all season. And to not have a goal, I mean, your production is getting lapped by Harry Maguire. You know what Keegan says about Harry Maguire? Sorry, not Maguire. Actually, also Maguire. He has scored more than Højbjerg, but I meant their striker. Who's your striker guy that you don't like?
Scott McTominay?
Yeah, McTominay, that's right.
Their defensive midfielder is outscoring their star striker.
Yeah. Not great. I've had going as 2-2 Manchester United because I don't think it will happen. I'm predicting that it will happen because I can't peg West Ham United if they were the size of a blimp and I was not blindfolded. I couldn't peg it. Couldn't pin it. That's a terrible analogy, but I think you get the gist of it. Then to one that I think I've got under wraps here. Fulham hosts Burnley at Craven Cottage. I think Fulham gets back in order. They won't have a red card in this one, and I think that they take it 4-1 over Burnley. Burnley gets a consolation goal there, but I think Fulham come back into the form that they were on previously against the side that they should beat.
Yeah, I think Fulham lucked out with having a domestic league game in between because I believe the 1-game suspension
was served. Really?
Is served during domestic games as well. So I think he should be fit for this one. And if he's in the side, I think it gets even worse. I'm going to go 4-0.
Oh.
4-0, it probably won't be great for Burnley.
No, I don't expect it to. Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't think it'll be pretty. Speaking of one that I don't think will be pretty either, Kenilworth Road, Lutontown. Lutontown gets Newcastle United at another 10 a.m. slot there on the 23rd. I think this one's a really dull Newcastle 1-0 victory. I think they just kind of coast through, get the 1-0, kind of classic Newcastle style, just kind of choke the life out of the game.
Yeah, I am going to go with a 1-0 Lutontown victory.
Really?
I got home. Lutontown's been playing better. So I think that I think Lutontown ends up getting it 1-0.
That would be big for Lutontown. Getting 3 points, especially depending on how this next one that we've got goes. Nottingham Forest, the descendant as opposed to ascendant. Nottingham Forest take on Bournemouth, AFC Bournemouth, who have done very well in recent history. Currently on at least a 5-game unbeaten streak, winning 4 of their last 5. Do you think they keep it rolling here against Nottingham Forest?
I do. This match is one of those where you kind of look at the momentum. Mm-hmm. These not top 10 sides, but these like middle of the pack teams are very momentum driven often. So I think I got to continue the momentum. I'm going to go 2-0 Burnley over Nottingham Forest. And I think Nottingham Forest, the manager could be fired. Like he's someone I haven't really heard a lot about, but I think that he could get the axe if they continue the slide.
I thought I'd seen that he actually was canned.
It might have been already. I might have missed it.
I think I saw that come out today. Someone got fired today. I think it was him. But I have this actually as a little bit of a comeback and 1-1. Sorry, what was that?
16 hours ago. There we go.
Yep, I did see that then because it happened. Yeah, so I think that it's a little bit of a comeback for them. I think that they get a 1-1 draw against Bournemouth, maybe with a late equalizer. Since they're at home, they get a little bit of a boost. Then the home side will be happy that, although I could also see it like they get an early goal in the the home side's really into it, and then there's a late equalizer from Bournemouth on the other side that deflates the whole thing. One of those two will happen, is what I'm saying. And it'll be a 1-1 draw in the end. Speaking of teams on a roll, Everton takes on Tottenham this weekend. They go to Tottenham Stadium there in London. And do you think Everton keeps it rolling?
2-1 Everton victory.
Okay.
So, yes, I do think that they keep it rolling. I think Everton defensively, Sean Dyche, they're always going to be good. But offensively, they've been figuring it out. Mm-hmm. And Tottenham over the last 8 to 10 weeks has not been the most amazing team that we saw at the very beginning. So I think Tottenham kind of rolls into this sleepily and Everton catches them, and they win 2-1.
I've got the inverse of that. I have his 2-1 Tottenham. I think Kulusevski has really come into form these last couple of weeks to fill in for the injured Maddison. I think Son's healthy. I think that Everton, being in this conversation of like maybe they have a chance against Tottenham is very good for Everton. But I think that they come back down to earth a little bit here with a 2-1, losing all 3 points in a 2-1 loss to Tottenham. At that point, it would put Tottenham up into 4th because, well, we'll get to we'll go and cover that now. Man City has the week off because they're doing the Club World Cup. Is that right?
The FIFA Club World Cup. It's just all the Champions Leagues around the world. Their winners play each other for the Club World Cup. Yes,
so the Manchester City hosting Brentford match is listed as still to be confirmed. So we'll keep an eye on that for later in the season. So that would put Tottenham above City temporarily, probably, with 1 game in hand for City. And moving to a huge match here. Liverpool hosts Arsenal 1v2 there in Liverpool. I've got this one as a knock 'em out, drag 'em out sort of fight. 2-2 draw between Arsenal and Liverpool. Two sides that really want to get the 3, but don't get the job done.
Yeah, I could see it being 2-2. I have it as 1-1. Mm-hmm. I think similarly it'll be 2 top teams slugging it out. I think they're going to get a lot of chances. Both teams want to attack, but yeah, ultimately I think that they'll split the difference.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. It'll be a great match there on Saturday. On Sunday. Let me help. No, Saturday. It's the last one on Saturday. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then lovely on Christmas Eve, we have the last match of the match day. My Wolves get to host Chelsea at Molineux at 8 a.m. I think we win. I think we take this 1-0 against Chelsea. Right, it's just a great Christmas present for all of us Wolves fans. Why do I think that? Chelsea's not reliable or very good, and I want the Wolves to win. That's why.
Yeah, I went back and forth on this one, but I have to go 3-2 Wolves.
Whoa!
I think there'll be a lot of goals in this one. I think Wolves will figure it out. Chelsea's defense has been very suspect depending on the game. Mm-hmm. Their offense is really the thing that's been not there. I don't know. Chelsea, again, we've seen them score 4 goals and do clean sheets, and we've seen them give up 4 goals. So Wolves is at least the more consistent defensively. I think they give up a couple, but 3-2 just feels right.
I don't know how many times I have to say it. 3 points is 3 points, man. 3-2, 5-1, 1-0. It's all the same number of points in the end. Sure, goal difference is a little bit different, but that's a tiebreaker. It doesn't actually matter. We'll see it at the end of the season. Anyway, that will wrap up match day 18. And 2 days later, Boxing Day, the classic Boxing Day quintet of games. I don't know if there's always 5, but there's 5 this year. For match day 19. This one starts off with the one I had mistakenly said originally. Newcastle gets Nottingham Forest at St. James's Park in Newcastle. I think that this one's easier than the previous match day. I think Newcastle takes it 2-0 over Nottingham Forest, and they continue to lose points, Nottingham Forest, and give some of those relegation sides some hope of getting out of the zone.
You know, I think with Nottingham Forest manager being removed, and now Nuno Espirito Santo, the former Wolverhampton manager, the new guy.
Really?
I think it goes 1-1. I think give him like one game to check everything out, a couple of practices. I think they come in and get 1-1. I thought about giving them the victory, but not yet.
Boy.
But I think that he's a good manager. He's got great stuff. He seems to be able to really inspire his players. So, yeah. I'm going to go 1-1.
I mean, Newcastle coming out of this 2 match days against Luton and Nottingham Forest with 1 point. That's bad. That will be very disappointing if you're a Newcastle fan. That'd be tough.
Injuries piling up.
Yeah.
Only 2 days rest, really. So I can see it happening.
We'll see. I mean, yeah, they are depleted. And, man, they're also out of the Champions League, out of Europa League. It'd just be sorrow upon sorrow. A very dark Christmas.
Yeah, I want to say during the week they did just get booted out by Fulham, maybe, of the
really.
FA Cup. Yeah, I think they also just got booted domestically.
All they have left is the Premier League then, unless they're in the Carabao, still in Carabao maybe.
Yeah, they got booted from the EFL quarterfinal by Chelsea in penalties.
Oh, heartbreaking if you're a Newcastle fan. Not sure what they call their fans. What do they call them? They call them mermaids? Call them seahorses? The Toons. I've heard that. But I think is that a Kelpie on their crest? Is that what that is? A seahorse.
I couldn't tell you.
Listen, all I know is that Bournemouth takes on Fulham at 10 a.m. on Boxing Day at Vitality Stadium in Bournemouth. And I think that Fulham keeps it rolling in this one. I think they've got it 3-1 against Bournemouth.
Really?
Yeah, I think that it's Fulham. I'm just feeling good about Fulham, man. That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, this one is interesting because both teams are really on a roll. We believe that they'll do pretty well in the previous match day. I think Bournemouth ends up taking the victory 2-1 simply because they're at home. I think both sides are pretty evenly matched. They play similar styles of football, and both teams want to score now. And they, I guess, have figured out the key to needing to score. So I think 2-1 simply because Bournemouth is at home. If it was at Craven Cottage, I'd probably flip it. But yeah, especially in these congested match days, I think home field advantage does play a pretty big factor. So I got to give them 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely at the 10 a.m. slot, it's definitely the one I'm looking forward to most, because this other one is Sheffield United versus Luton Town, and not really looking forward to it is what I would say. I've got it as Sheffield gets a 2-0 victory over Luton Town.
Wow.
Mainly because they're the home side in it, so taking that into consideration, Bramall Lane. It hasn't been as happening as Kenilworth Road for Luton Town, but every little bit helps. And if Sheffield can I think they get one, and the team, the home side gets behind them, and they carry it through and get a later on to finish off the match essentially goal to go 2-0 over Luton Town and get some much needed points. As we get towards the halfway point of the season. Wait, this is the halfway point of the season. This match day, 18 and 19. No. Yeah, this would be exactly halfway. 19.
Yep. After the
What do you got?
Similarly to what we've seen already this season, I think these bottom three teams are going to play each other out by drawing across the board. Because they're going to want to go really hard, both teams, but also want to defend to not give up a goal.
Right.
I think it's a 1-1 draw. I think they're going to play each other out of the possibility of getting out of the relegation zone, because these are the ones you have to win
if
you want a chance.
Right.
And I don't think they do. I think it's 1-1.
Yeah. It was Sheffield who got the upper hand of Luton last time they played, I believe, back in, was it Matchday? It was earlier this season, I think, already. Or was that Burnley? I think that was Burnley and Luton. I'm thinking. Yes. It was a Tuesday, Burnley and Luton, that Burnley got a 2-1 victory over Lutontown at Kenilworth Road. So strike that from the record. I didn't say it. What I meant to say was Burnley hosts Liverpool at Turf Moor at 12:30 on Boxing Day. Do you think Burnley sneaks any points here? Do you think they get a little bit of home side boost? Maybe?
I think it depends on how the Liverpool-Arsenal game goes.
Yeah.
Because that game's on the 23rd, and then we have this one on the 26th. So really 2 days of just recovery. You're not doing anything. And, yeah, I mean, I think that I could see Burnley possessing more against Liverpool than people might think, and I think that proves fruitful. I think they win 2-0.
Really?
I think Liverpool will be tired. They'll be exhausted from Arsenal because they're going to, most likely in this game, they're going to throw some younger guys in to give some rest. And I really think that it's going to be a game where they come in kind of zombie-like, and then Burnley's going to catch them because they know this is a game they could potentially steal.
So what you're saying is Klopp out, in your opinion, for Burnley and Liverpool. I see. I have it as the opposite. I have 2-0 victory. I don't trust Burnley to score. They haven't shown me that they have that capability on any regular occasion. Your scenario does seem somewhat probable. It seems definitely reasonable. But even if you've got the young guys in for Liverpool, they're still better than basically everybody on Burnley. So you'd hope that they'd come out on Boxing Day. Maybe it's like their first time playing in the EPL on Boxing Day. I feel like that would be exciting for a young player. And they go and they take it to Burnley. I feel like that's fine. And Burnley loses 2-0 to Liverpool. A perfectly respectable result. They would be, in both of our scenarios, they would still be second because we have them both drawing. Oh, wait. No. That would put, in both of our scenarios, that would put Aston Villa in first after this weekend, right? Yeah, Villa would be in first. Liverpool would be in third at that point. Wow. Hey. Wow. That'd be crazy. Speaking of Villa, they're playing Manchester United. They're going to Old Trafford in Manchester at 3 o'clock on Boxing Day and taking on the Reds. Red Devils? The Devils. The Red Devils. I actually have this as a little bit of a come down for Aston Villa. I think that they will be so excited to be top of the table, just somewhere they probably had no anticipation of being at the beginning of the season, that they have a disappointing 1-1 draw to Manchester United and drop some points. And let Liverpool get ahead of them, more than likely. Yeah. That's what I've got.
Yeah, I have the same result, 1-1. Wow. I think neither team really wants to give up goals. Aston Villa more recently has been very defensive.
Yeah.
Man United, obviously, all defense. So I think it's 1-1 draw. I'm also going to say that when it comes to United, firing Ten Hag at this point is kind of it's a sticky situation because if you fire him now and you bring someone new in, do they have enough time in January to bring in some people, rewrite the ship, or do you just stick with him, spend some more money, hope it works? I don't know, but if he only escapes the congestion with 1 point, it's hard to think he'll still be there.
Yeah, you kind of feel like you're giving up on the season either way, whether you fire him or keep him. It's like if you keep him, you're basically bagging it in from the fan perspective of saying, you know what, we're just going to keep the guy through the end of the year, see if we can scrounge up some points. Don't plan on going, maybe sneak into the Europa League, which is gross if you're United, but maybe. It'd be tough.
I just don't know who you go. But outside of Zidane, there's not really any managers out there that I would think are A, available, and B, eager to join this project.
Yeah.
Midway through a season.
It is a project.
So I don't know who they would get other than him. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's a sticky wicket, that is. Not where you want to be around Christmas time, sticky wickets.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not. Speaking of a sticky wicket, we've got a 12-13 matchup here with Brentford hosting my Wolves. Well, currently it's 12-13. We'll see where it would be if after the match day, of course. But for right now, it's 12-13. And Brentford will be coming with some fresh legs since they got the weekend off. And I think, unfortunately, they do take it to my Wolves 2-1 to give themselves a little bit of breathing room there in the middle of the table. Actually, in both of ours, Wolves would be ahead of them at that point. They would be up in 11th, I believe. Actually, it's a very important match. 10-13. Anyway, how do you have this one shaken out?
You know, I like Brentford on rest. Wolves, they've been kind of thin lately, so I just don't think they're going to be able to. They'll be able to play, but not necessarily attack well. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wanted to give Wolves the win. I think it'll be 1-1 draw. I thought about a 2-1 Wolves victory, but I think I got to go a 1-1 draw.
Listen, I always take 1-1. I like having points. I like having buffers. Keep us up there in the middle. Keep us away from that 18th place where I picked them to go. Speaking of teams that are trying not to drop down to relegation zone, Chelsea goes... I was not talking about Chelsea. I was talking about Crystal Palace. They host Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge there in London at another 2:30 match on the 27th. How do you think Chelsea handles this one?
This feels like one of those matches that Crystal Palace will go in and steal all three.
Really?
I think, especially under Roy Hodgson, they've been known to be the giant killers at the away side. So, I mean, I think it goes 3-1 Chelsea. I think they get a couple of early goals. Chelsea pulls one back. Then a late goal seals it for them. I just think Crystal Palace, they're always that team that has the pieces, but they can really only fit it in every now and then. And like we saw in the City match, 75th minute, they'll get it.
You cut it there a little bit. 75th minute on, you think that in the City match, yes, they put it together, and you think that they get the full three here. That was 3-1 for Crystal, not Chelsea. You said Chelsea initially.
Yes, 3-1 for Crystal Palace.
I've got this as a 2-1 victory for Chelsea. They get some points back here. They're home. Games have been coming in hot and heavy over the past couple weeks here in the Premier League. People will be looking forward to getting on that international break. But Chelsea hold home serve here and get the full three with a 2-1 victory over Crystal Palace. That's just how I feel like it's going to go. Chelsea will win every now and then. I mean, they won this past match day. Granted, that was against Sheffield United, but you can only beat the team in front of you. So I think they get this one against Crystal Palace. Which brings us to City back in action. They go to Everton up there in Liverpool at Goodison Park. They're 3:15 on the 27th. So you can watch the second half or the whole thing. Who cares? I've got City going away with this one. 3-1 victory over Everton. They'll have rest on Everton, and they're better than Everton, so that helps as well.
We were also better than the last few teams we played. So it depends on who's healthy. Honestly, yeah. I think we still squeak out a 2-1 victory at Goodison Park, but if we don't have Haaland, we don't have De Bruyne yet. If Doku is still hurt, it's just hard to think about where the goals are going to come. Because Alvarez, he can score, but he seems more like a complementary piece,
right?
As opposed to the main guy. So,
Well, I think Oscar Bob gets a brace in this one. Really bold. Oscar Bob gets a brace.
Both from free kicks. That's even bolder.
Whoa. Nah, I ain't going to go that far. I'm just Oscar Bob gets
for me, honestly, if I had to bet on it, this feels like a Kyle Walker goal game to me. I think he marauds forward and gets a goal in this one, but
Harry's them
2-1 City. I'll leave it at that.
2-1 City. 2-1 City. Listen, if you're a City, you'll take all 3 points every day of the week, especially after your recent performances. Boy, that is not a pretty last 5. Draw, loss, win, draw. Yeesh.
Yeah, not great form.
And the win's over Luton, so gross. Gross.
Yeah, we're playing like a Crystal Palace right now. We need to play like a Man City.
Yeah, need to kick it back into gear. Then we go to our Thursday matches. Brighton Hove Albion hosts Tottenham Hotspur. They're at the Amex at 2:30. Don't know what this is. I've got it as a 2-2. Actually, I'll go ahead and spoiler alert. I have these both as 2-2 draws. The Brighton Spurs and Arsenal West Ham. Because I never know what to expect from West Ham. So I went with 2-2 across both of their matches on this upcoming one. I'm just going to keep doing 2-2 for them until they do otherwise. Which will probably this weekend.
I think Brighton and Tottenham will be the highest scoring match of the season.
Whoa.
At 6-5.
No, stop it.
Brighton wins 6-5.
6-5. Fulham's not even playing. Or Newcastle.
Both teams are not the greatest on defense, but want to really just their top 3 or 4 guys just attack. I think they show clinical ability. There's a lot of shots in this one. Yeah, I think it's going to swing open early and the doors will stay open. And I'm going 6-5 as my prediction. Arsenal West Ham, I think West Ham sneaks 3 points here, 2-1.
Really?
I think Arsenal will be kind of reeling from not beating Liverpool, as I predicted. And I really think they're going to come out and just, again, that quick turnaround, lackadaisical play. It's at home, so they're going to think that the Emirates is their safe haven. And I think West Ham steals it.
I see what you're doing here. City gets the weekend off. No one really gets any points above them. Go to the next match day. Maybe Liverpool drops some points. Maybe Arsenal drops some points. Maybe Aston Villa gets a draw. And bing, bang, boom. City's back at the top of the table.
And then we win the rest of our matches, 20 straight.
There we go. 20 straight victories. End up with how many points? If you won all 20 straight games, where would that put you? That would put you at still not as good as your besties. 94 points in total. Boy, you guys were really good. What was that, 15 when you were the Centurions? When was that?
18? 19.
18-19.
Yeah.
100 points. That's so many points. So many points. Anyways, I get it now. I see what you're doing. That brings us to the end of Matchday 19, which will bring us through next Thursday, a week from today. We'll see if it all shakes out that way. Let's see who has a good Christmas. That's what I want to see. Who's get a good Christmas? You know, the classic thing people say. Who's get a good Christmas?
I will fact check myself. It was 17-18 we got 100. 18-19 we only got 98. So
bunch of slackers.
Yeah, it's just not as great of a year.
98 points. Well, you could only dream of getting 98 points this year because it's literally not possible anymore. Well, hold on, because you're not actually on, when you're in Matchday 19, you're not actually on Matchday 19 because you'll have that one game to get back. So, could you do it?
I think we have 2 matches to make up.
2 matches to make up? Maybe you could do it. I don't know. You'd have to win literally every other match. So I don't think that's going to happen. Let's be reasonable here. All right. Anyway, that brings us to the end of Matchday 19, 18 and 19. We'll come back on the Friday after that with probably a recap episode and prediction episode at the same time. Who knows? We'll see when we get there. All right? In the meantime, have a Merry Christmas, all of you. And while you're at it, go ahead and grab some coffee. Watch some Boxing Day soccer. And we'll see you